Yeah, well, one of the things that struck me, I live in a pretty leftist neighborhood too in Toronto. In fact, I think I'm probably more unpopular in my own neighborhood than I am anywhere else in the world, which is rather annoying consequence of everything that's transpired around me in the last 6 years. But one of the things I was quite struck by in Toronto in particular was the two things. One was the willingness of the left to sacrifice the poor to their purity concerns. That was really quite interesting. And also to align themselves with the pharmaceutical companies, because that was kind of a miraculous reversal that was virtually incomprehensible. I mean, for decades, the only enemy the left had that was as significant, let's say, as big energy companies was big pharma. And for the left to align themselves with the pharmaceutical companies struck me as a what would you say, a philosophical reversal of miraculous proportions. I still haven't wrapped my head around that entirely. And I was also shocked, and I would really say shocked, by the absolute pleasure that people seem to take in the side effect of the COVID lockdowns, which was the opportunity to spy and inform on your neighbors. And my sense was that in Toronto, first of all, 70% of people would have worn those goddamn masks happily for the rest of their lives. And half of that group would have done it happily merely because it gave them an opportunity to spy on and inform on their neighbors. And I knew that in places like East Germany under the Soviets, that 1/3 of citizens were government informers, which is a pretty damn dismal statistic. But I knew that proclivity was embedded deep in the heart of the human soul, let's say. If a soul can have a heart, you get my point. But it was still a shock to me to see how rapidly that desire made itself manifest when the social and political conditions made it possible and morally necessary.
Did you notice that big tech companies today are masquerading as privacy companies? Just fix your privacy settings, turn off app tracking, and you're all good. Right. Are we supposed to believe that the big bad tech wolf has now turned into our sweet grandma? Sure, maybe they'll release a feature now and then that does some good, but collecting and selling off your data is in big tech's nature. To protect myself against big tech's prying eyes, I use ExpressVPN. When you use the ExpressVPN app on your computer or phone, you're hiding your unique IP address, which means websites can't use that address to find out your real location or track what you do online. On top of that, ExpressVPN encrypts and reroutes 100% of your online activity, so your internet provider, Wi-Fi admin, and hackers can't see it. The best part, though, is how easy it is to use. It just takes one click to protect all of your devices. One ExpressVPN subscription covers up to 5 devices at the same time, so you can protect your entire family too. That's why ExpressVPN is rated #1 by CNET, Wired, TechRadar, and countless others. Protect your data with the #1 rated VPN provider today. Visit expressvpn.com/JordanYT. That's expressvpn.com/JordanYT and get 3 extra months free. expressvpn.com/JordanYT.
No, I was gonna say, I think I was naive. I did not think that Americans or Canadians or free people in general had that inside them. I knew that people who had been under totalitarian rule, who didn't know anything else, yes, they could be made to inform on their neighbors. But free people who didn't have anything to lose were telling on people for having too many friends in their backyard, and that was happening frequently in my neighborhood. Another interesting moment was, so I lived in this neighborhood, Park Slope in Brooklyn, and there was like a board on Facebook, and a woman wrote in and she said, "I'm Asian. I was bicycling without my mask, and an older white couple yelled racial epithets at me." This is at the height of the pandemic, spring 2020. And in normal times, obviously everybody would be supportive of her and, oh, how dare this white couple say racist things to you. But the majority of the comments were like, well, you should have been wearing your mask. And that's where they got to, where they threw away their own previous ideas in order for this new mask god. And it was really wild to watch that. I didn't expect that. look, I'm a lifelong conservative. My husband is a conservative, and we were going to live in this liberal area, and that would have been fine until the pandemic hit and we saw what was really going on. We couldn't unsee it.